Good morning, everyone. I say morning, it's probably evening somewhere out there. It's 5 o'clock somewhere. It's good to see you all. And always pleasure to talk with you. It's always fun to grow and learn, you know. Um, so I hope you're all doing well. I know that it can be a struggle sometimes. And then sometimes, you know, there's just so much out there and opinions and ideas. Sometimes it's hard to stay focused. But you know, this is where you experiment on yourself. You know, if you take everything we're talking about in these videos and you play with that, you're going to be really happy you did. You're going to really discover what's causing all these problems that man's suffering with. And it's so simple, you know, but that's the game. You know, we're in the game here. And the more lost you can get, the better the game to God. Because God already knows itself. But it has to lose itself, so the drama is good. You know, the more you're lost, the drama is really good. And that's it. And it's the mind, and it's the focus, and it's the desires. And we're just focusing in on our journeys and what we want to do next and what we want to do. This is the playground. For many of you, though, on the spiritual side, you're waking up from that and you're deciding that you've played on the playground a long time. And it's time that, I want to go home. So you're awakening up. You're starting to stop thinking so much, you know. People make so much out of so little. And a little thing. And this thing of Dan McDonald. Danny. Bro. You know I love you, man. That was no statement. You didn't even review the video, man. You know, you already know. We've talked about this before. You even talked about it in my class, balance. You know, and I use you because you're a good guy to use. And I use myself because I was very much like Dan McDonald, you know, tore it up with the raw, deep as I could go. But then I needed to find some balance, because if you don't, the chances of getting highly narcissistic is there. And you can see that, and it's just there, and it's really a love narcissism, because you want to help people, and yet I didn't know I was being that way. I think I was being too strong, you know. But I never have anything bad to say about Dan McDonald, so I don't know where this is coming from. I don't know what's up with that. I mean, sometimes people make a lot to do about nothing, honey. I don't know. But that's what I'm saying about getting out of the mind, because something was perceived wrong or something. I don't know, man. I don't know. But, you know, life isn't worth wasting and playing those kind of games. I'm not a game player like that, guys. I don't know. I just don't play those kind of things. I love everybody out there. So I don't know what's going on with this. This is a letter by Joshua Brown, and Joshua, man, you got you've got some fuse C6 and C7. This is a quadriplegic, obviously. Yeah, I am a C5, C6 quad. A C5, C6 definitely gives you some of this. That's getting the lower end of that's what makes you a quad over a paraplegic. I've regenerated all the way up from C3, C4, and C4, C5. This is a C5, C6. As you go further down the injury, you start getting more mobility upper here. And so, listen, bro, Joshua, listen, I've got another guy. He's a paraplegic here. He's now he's got his feelings back, I think, basically almost everywhere. He's now up out of the chair and off of the walker and onto leg braces, and he's moving his legs well. They're real proud of this guy. He's really taking it off. All fruits, berries, and melons, man. So you want to take off and get out of that chair, Joshua. That's all I got to say. And you can get out of that chair. You're into regeneration. Grew up in southern Michigan. Let me see. All of these have been beneficial to their day. He's been through a lot of different things. Got skin problems, no question, in the past. I used to have some rectal bleeding. But again, especially in a chair. Now, this is so true in every way. If you're stuck in a chair, you definitely want to be on a fruit and berry and melon diet for a lot of reasons, guys. One, get those kidneys filtering, because if not, you'll suffer with trying to get decubitus off of you in the back. Those are bed sores, so to speak, where you're always sitting or laying and the tissue's breaking down. And actually, it just shows extreme acidosis. And then UTIs are very popular, of course, because they're not moving lymph. They're not filtering lymph. Part of the problem, though, why they're still a quad is going to be the autonomic nervous system. And so back to the adrenals and kidneys again. And we've talked about that, why some spinal cord injuries can get up and some can't. And you're dealing with the ability or inability of the body to deal with acidosis or inflammation and trauma to tissue, and that trauma is taken care of by the lymphatic system, your immune system. The blood can't be the pizza delivery guy, can't be the restaurant, and at the same time deal with the carpentry work and deal with the sewer department and deal with all these things. So you have a lot of components there, but the two main fluids, just remember the lymphatic system there. But there's every reason. And then flavonoids, which are your vitamin C complexes, your bioflavonoids, blah, 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 blah. But the flavonoid complex, very healing to tissue, especially vascular tissue, but very healing to tissue. So absolutely. Help me with enemas and such. Now, he does, his brother's helping as a caregiver, his brother, which is pretty cool for a brother. My kudos to the brother. Joshua, because to have a brother help you like that, that's a brother with a good heart there. Really appreciate that. You know, when you're taking full care of somebody that has no ability to move, it's so much harder than people realize, and a lot of females go down, a lot of wives go down helping their husbands because of the weight issue and transferring heavy weight, because dead weight is dead weight. Difficult. Even nurses struggle, or CNA struggle sometimes. So it's enough to say that as we get going, you'll be able to transfer yourself and get up out of that chair. But I like the fact that you're looking for daily bowel movements. That's a key. That's essential, because that's where I'm going, is daily bowel movements with you, and of course urination, because we need to open up that kidney channel there. Through the summer, I want to get onto all fruit and your herbal detox. Absolutely. You really want to head on, because you can. And is that, oh, I heard you. I will get out of that chair. Love that. That's the kind of attitude you want to have. And you don't stop. You don't let anything stop you. B12, man, no big deal. Doesn't do anything really. Get your adrenals up and you'll find that the B12 is gone. Let me see. Maybe there's an herb to relax my bladder. There definitely is an herb to relax your bladder. And it's an antispasmodic. And that relaxes the nervous system, an antispasmodic. But the brain and nerve, of course, is the one I use to rebuild the nervous system as well. That also helps to relax. You know, it's funny. The nerves are more relaxed the stronger they are. They're hyperkinetic that when you're acidic. Geez, on the psyllium bentonite, but I'll give you something better that'll clean you out even better. Let's see, B12 be a good supplement. Not really. I used a chemical suppository to stimulate the rectum to release. I don't know if it's very bad. Well, I tell you what, let me see if we can get the herbs going internally, get that peristalsis, get that nervous system turned back on, get that peristalsis better for you, and get away from that totally. I wish I did have suppositories. I'm working on it. You know, it's hard getting some things made if you're not a pharmaceutical company. I'm thinking of water fasting at some point. Well, I'd put that down the line right now, and I'd really grab a hold of that and embrace that fruit, berry, and melon. That's where the magnetics are. That's where the astringents are. That's where the ease of digestion is. You don't need to spend a lot of nerve energy trying to digest your foods when you need it to run the nervous system. So you got to realize energy management, and you have no choice in a chair. It puts you down to where you have to deal with that. So, yeah, can answer some of these questions? Absolutely, my friend. Love to you too, Joshua Brown. You get up out of that chair. You call in and get a protocol for yourself, and I'll write you up a protocol and get you out of that chair. Be strong and get out of there. You can do that. All of you can overcome your problems. And it's work, no question about it. But remember, when I'm saying going on all fruit and berry and melon diet, that's your natural diet for man. That's the diet that man should be eating all along. That's not even fasting or anything. That's the diet we should have a start with. But the fact that just going back to the diet your body's designed to do cures up most problems, amazingly. So You know, you can argue over some vegetables here and there. Who cares? But in moving that lymph, getting your body cleaned out and rebuild is number one. And it's funny that you have to get up to that fruit, berry, and melon level to accomplish this. So what does that tell you? I think that what that tells you is that sometimes we have to balance out with vegetables and things like that. That's okay. That's okay. This is Miss C. Could you please talk about karma and and what can do to get rid of it? Good question, dear. Sometimes we do things and don't realize the consequences or how much we have hurt another, although we are good people. And this is true, Miss C. Well, I'll tell you, even though for Christians karma is a strange word, I think in today's world so many people are using it. I saw some senator use it the other day and I thought, how cool, because it really says what Jesus says in one word. Jesus said you reap what you sow. So that's several words, but karma is one word saying the same thing. See, when you realize we're all just one, we all come out of the same God, we have different ways of looking at things and different ways of interpreting things, and that's what's called levels of consciousness or states of consciousness. When you let all of that go, you become one of pure consciousness. In other words, you now become one of the one. But till then, everything appears to be isolates, just like in chemistry, isolating chemistry. Everything seems to be individual pieces. Everything's its own thing. Everything's separate from another. You have thought motivating materiality, and you have emotions driving thought. So this is how creation starts to form itself and to create itself. Therefore, there's the drama. There's the honey boo boo over here, and here's the swamp man over here. And over here is Dancing with the Stars, and the voice is over here. I mean, that's what it's about, you know. But there's a time when some of you are going to want to get out of the grind of creation, and that is where karma keeps going. That's where you perpetuate. Karma keeps you perpetuated in your next drama. You create your next experiences. No one else does. I mean, if you allow them, but it's all about you and what you allow and what you create. So when you get more centered with the self, meaning that you stop that chattering mind so much. Just talked to Chris up in Canada. We were talking about the chattering mind. You know, and this is the thing. The mind loves to go out there and just talk away. That's its job. It likes to look and compare and analyze. That's the mind. Consciousness already knows all of that. Consciousness is the knower of it all. All things are created out of consciousness or out of God itself. And all you can say about an infinite being like that is a huge bunch of intelligence, because there's no words to define that. So, karma, the best way to stop karma is to stop thinking. Stop desiring. There's two things. Deal with the emotions and deal with the mind. Those are the two greatest principles of creation, except at this physical level, which is the lowest level attempted by God. And this level is chemical, where the next level is not near chemical. It's just a huge difference between these different realms of heaven. And as Jesus said, my Father's mansion has many rooms. My Father's worlds have many levels. Same thing. You know, it's there in Christianity, it's there in Buddhism and Hinduism, it's there at all levels. Can't speak to Muhammad, though, and I'll say that for that guy that beat me up. Don't know. I read those works years and years ago. I've studied all religions years ago. I just can't remember a lot of them. It's just that you have to move away from man-made, man-created, fear-based stuff. And the idea, if your religion in any way hurts people, look at Christianity, man, slaughter city of humans. So when you look back historically, there's been a lot of deaths over God, and my God's better than your God, and that's part of the drama, because the illusion of that is that it's all one again. And that's what's happening on this site. If you haven't noticed, we're all becoming one powerful group of people. Good. So karma, if you want to stop karma, stop thinking and stop desiring. Those are the two things. In other words, stop creating. You know, thought creates. Emotions create. Stop it for a while. Realize you have everything you need. Most of you probably have all you need, all this materiality. I mean, when you go to Africa, you go to some of these poor places. I've been down in near Haiti and Dominican. What you have is a little shack with holes all through it, living right on the ocean. So, you know, we're steeped. I remember when I first went to the south of France, I was wondering where the Home Depots were. Where's Walmart? You know, I need to go get something. It's not like that. So depends where we're raised and what's around us that we get used to. But in reality, you need very little to live. You know, shelter, food, the basics. And so if you have that or more, then enjoy that to the max. Sometimes the less you have, the happier you are, because everything you own, you have a tie to that. Believe it or not. Oh, isn't that a pretty little thing? But you have I love that. You have a tie to it, energetically speaking. And the more ties you have, energetically speaking, the less you have yourself. The more you have a little attention there, a little attention there, a little attention there, a little of your attention over there. And then all your kids and your loved ones and your families. Pretty soon, you don't know who you are, because you have your attention all over the place when you don't understand who you are, the one that has the attention. And that's consciousness, and you have to get that. And the only way to really find that out is to stop thinking and stop planning. Stop looking outside of yourself for the answers, because you won't find any. Most of the answers are within. You are the answer. You're the big answer to the whole puzzle. It's just, how do you crack the you? So that's how you get rid of karma, dear one. And just don't care anymore. Just know that, just absorb into the bliss of God. And I'll say the Sufis have a nice little thing called God absorption. And that's I love that word, God absorption. And that's what I try to do in every moment, is just be and absorb into that which I perceive as the all. And to do that, I don't try to limit anything to small things, like thoughts and desires and things like this. You do the best you can. You keep working, you keep working, you keep working. And the more you just work in the now, in the present moment, the more the answers start flooding in. And you don't have to really start thinking and realize you have to go read and study, because you already have the key to all the answers. And that's the highest level of academics in that sense, because it is the all of the all. And that is the creator of thought and of academics. So you're beyond that. Pretty cool stuff, to tell you the truth. One should always have fun with things. People are so uptight. It's like this thing with Dan McDonald. I walked in this morning, he said, Dan McDonald did an hour video on you. And it's like, what? His wife picked up her girlfriend picked up something on YouTube. It's like, what? And he didn't even look at the YouTube? Come on, man. I mean, I don't live in these worlds, guys. I don't live in this is the drama. Get away! I'm not a drama kind of guy, man. I'm a recluse. My focus is on God and truth. I mean, if you can't take it, get off the pot. But truth is truth. And I've never said anything about my buddy, but still, I mean, we have to get balanced. If you get way out of balance, you pick up on things, or sometimes you hear things that's not even true. And so that's, it's just, we have to get beyond those petty type of things. We're all working as one. I think most of you have a good sense of who I am by now. And so we all want to be one. I've opened this whole thing up for you guys, and I'll tell you, it's fun. And we need to be happy together, and we need to change the world. Forget this little petty arguments among. The problem is that this guy's over there, this guy's over there. You got to have 60 bananas a day. You got to have this over here a day. You got to have this over here a day. Who cares? How many people out there can eat 60 bananas in one day? Not too many. Maybe an athlete. Oh, an athlete. That's it. I mean, you just have to realize you have to give space. You notice? I don't care what your diet is after you detox, because I can't control that. You can say, well, ultimately you should be this or you should be that. In reality, you'll find your own way with that. But if you want to detox, that's where we're good. That's our specialty. That's what we're teaching you, how to rebuild the human body. But I'd like you to go deeper than that. I would like you to think, how do you become more of God? How do you understand who you are and where you really come from? Because you're all going to die one of these days. I'm going to pass one of these days from this rock. All right, where are you going? Do you already know where you're going, or is this going to be, I'm just going to go wherever God takes me? It's fun to be aware of those things beforehand. There's so much fun to be had away from this realm. I mean, more energetic. There's just no words to describe it. Look at the movie Cocoon. Go back and look at that just to show you the difference. And that was still physical levels within the physical world itself. You know, they were talking about spaceships and crafts and how they could move and how they worked with crystals and gravities and stuff like this. And it's like, think about that. And this is the lowest world within the heavens. Think of some of the higher worlds. Woo-hoo! The fun and the joy and the happiness. I mean, it's worth it. It's worth it to play. Nobody's going to hurt you. There's nothing. You're fine. Nobody can hurt you unless you allow it. And you remember that. Don't let anybody hurt you. You are beautiful souls. Get your strength. You can love and help everyone. I still haven't forgot the video. I couldn't get in this weekend. Couldn't get in to do it. Sorry. Hey, Doc Match was wondering if you saw the cancer issue of Time Magazine last week and how much further Allopath is getting away from reality. Justin. Hey, Justin. I saw it. I even bought it. But you know what? I couldn't sit there and read it because I wanted to throw up, first of all. The Dream Team. Oh, well, it's just the truth there. It's just man's getting further away and further away. We're not. We're the reality checkers. People like Joshua here, Justin, reality checkers. And that's the thing is, you can't buck truth. And you guys are standing tall as spiritual giants, giving the light and love out to this world. Hard to beat that one. It's hard for these criminal minds, these little bitty minds to get away. And it's not criminal minds, I don't mean that, but there are many of those. But it's the unconscious mind, the unconscious individual, if you will. I'm going to say mind, it is an unconscious instrument. But this is why I'm saying it's time to wake up. I mean, how many years have we taken individuals, detoxed them, and all their cancers came out of them? Can I say it that way? Tens and tens of thousands. There are some we haven't been able to get, I admit it. And those make me rip myself apart because if there's someone advanced and I can't get them, what's going on here? That's when you start to realize how massive this lymph system is, what acidosis really means, how bad that is on fluids and cells, and what we're up against. This is a big deal. And you have these dream teams out there that all this propaganda brought up here like this, and then all the money involved, and now we have healthcare that's going to destroy this country. That's involved. Oh, this isn't just any old healthcare. This is the worst healthcare plan ever produced by any place. So this is horrible. If you're just starting to read, they're just starting to read it and starting to go, oh my God. You mean you pass something without reading it? I mean, this is how bad this is going to be. And this is just part of this unconsciousness where some people think they're doing right for everybody else. That's why there's a constitution. Go back. Now, a lot of you countries probably don't have constitutions like this, but then you come back and you look at America's Constitution. Look who framed it. Look who wrote it. And I just want to say this to all you federal judges the same way. Look who wrote it. Benjamin Franklin or Rosicrucian. You look at all these people that signed, from Rush to all these people that signed the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. Most of them were spiritual guys. Most of them were Rosicrucians or people that were dealing with out-of-body travels. And there's a lot more to the world than most people realize spiritually. So when you see a document written that well in the physical world, you know it was spiritually impacted. And you always have the negative forces chomping to get rid of that because it means freedom for the individual. This isn't a world for freedom. So just remember, your freedom comes from you, you know. And this government thinks they can grant you the right. That isn't the Constitution, right? Grant you the privilege, not the right. Grant you the privilege to do things. That's the problem with governments. They think that people have privileges. This is Sarah. Sarah. Thank you, dear. A couple of months back, I sent you a variation of this email about my cat. But I think, though, through the sheer volume, I probably did, sweetheart. Now, cats. I have a question for you regarding my 10-year-old cat, Kaylee, who was diagnosed with this past December with an aggressive cancerous fibrocarcinoma or sarcoma tumor in her hind rear leg. Well, you could pull that out with a little Can-X or a little black salve. You could pull that off the cat if you wanted to. However, you've got the same problem. The problem with cats is there's no vegetarian to it. As far as I know, guys, I don't know. Cats are true carnivores. And so I'll have to say that you look for the best of that, but this is where you're going to have to use pure herbs. And you know which ones, because this is a tumor. This is what? The lymph system. You mean cats have lymph systems? Heck yeah, all vertebrates do. So you got the lymph system, you've got kidneys and adrenals. So that's what you want to go after, is the kidney, adrenals, and the lymphatic. So there's three formulas right there. Something for the adrenals or endocrine glands, something for kidneys, and something for the lymph system. But if it's too big and they're going to put her down, you might pull that off with some black salve. You have to shave the skin and get some black salve and put it right on that tumor there, and you wouldn't need but less than a penny's size on the top of that. You wouldn't need much. From what little I know of this type of cancer, it is often seen in around the sites of where vaccines are given. Do you think? I mean, and here's another thing for you ladies out there, and I would say I'd put this warning out worldwide. Do not fall into the biopsy scenario, and do not have them put the little, now they're blatantly putting a little piece of metal in where they do the biopsy. So a lot of women now have a foreign object in their breast, and if a body was kind of protecting the cells with a tumorous type of coating, they've broken that. So I think having biopsies and putting metal objects in women is an insult to the woman. I think that if you see a tumor in a woman, you can already assume that you might have some cells that have been morphodized or broken down, called cancer cells. You could assume that, okay? Because whether it's benign or cancerous, what are you going to do about it? You're gonna reverse why you're getting it. That's number one, because if you have a lumpectomy, okay, have a lumpectomy, benign or cancerous. But once you go in and do a biopsy and put metal in there, I'm having a harder time getting this out of women because of that. So you realize that. Don't have them do anything to you. Make your decision. I'm going to have medically removed, or am I going to get this the right way? And if you have it medically removed, remember you have to come back and do it the right way anyway, or you'll form another tumor. Remember, this is about causative issues, not symptoms. Symptoms are obvious, obviously, but what's causing them? That's the point you want to address, is always the cause of something. Then you're done. You don't have to worry about it. The rest of your life, you're done. You don't have to worry about it because you fixed the problem. And that sounds so much better than going and have a piece of the breast taken now, and then maybe a mastectomy later because you're going to get another tumor. You know, and it's just on, and then, chemo, and then, and then we have the dream teams. I mean, this is all just insanity when it's so simple to realize how you're forming it and then what you have to do to reverse it. The problem, as we get younger and we get down the track of the time track here, we're getting much worse. So that's why this message and why all of you are so valuable is to stand up for truth and stand up for honesty. Those that have these little quirks, they'll come and they go. But don't let anybody shake you off your foundation. You be the living truth. You walk, and truth comes from you. God is using you, obviously, to express itself here. Then know that and act accordingly that way. Know that when you meet somebody, you're giving them love and joy and happiness. Who cares what they look like? Who cares what size they are? Who cares what their hang-ups are? Who cares? Because it doesn't matter, because you can't care. As soon as you care, you're trapped. That's karma. As soon as you're hooked. As soon as you care, and it's hard not to as a healer. That's another good one for you. We're going to discuss that a little bit in class, of course, is how to be a healer. This is our level 2. It's called Path of the Healer. How can you have to understand how not to get karma as a healer. So being a God-man, woman, is essential, and carrying the power is to the highest level you can. Outside of that, it doesn't matter. You can be healers without even thinking of God. You know, you don't even have to use a name. Just learn how to be and let the force, Luke, let the force flow through you. But if you're busy thinking and desiring, the force can't flow through you. They have to flow through your thought. You can't. Energy can only flow through the mind and emotions and the physical body and creation. So if you're always thinking, that's where your energy is going to go toward your thoughts. When you don't have a thought, it's open. Energy goes through faster and greater. Same thing with emotions. So when you open those doors, energy or consciousness or love, whatever you want to call it, comes raging out of the God worlds through you and into the people you're working on. Love it. From what little I know, is where she regularly receives, yeah, I betcha, rabies vaccines. Oh, I mean, but it shows you, now when you have vaccines, you put anything into where the cells are, because that's what they're doing. They're injecting right into tissue. Your lymph system has to carry that away. You remember, you got 1/4 blood, so some of that vaccine is going to hit the blood, possibly. Most of it is going to be dealt with through the lymph system. And so if this cat poor lymph system isn't filtering well for her, and then of course they keep putting the toxins in there. So all I can say is you can use a little black salve on that, shave that, and put a little black salve on there and pull that out of there, or go by way of the kidneys and things like that. Diet-wise, I don't think there's much you can do with a cat, but maybe I'm wrong. Someone out there might have a better position on this with the cats. Despite getting her into the vet literally half an hour after the first indication of swelling began, and it came on very suddenly, that morning when I fed her, her leg was fine and she walked with no problem. Well, you know what though? What you see is sometimes these things just boom. You know, it's just a body, just that's it. For some reason, the kidneys just take a dump or something in that moment, and boom, whoa! But I can tell you, the weaknesses were building in her, and so now you're seeing it. We'll just reverse that because she could have a good time. Let's see. But every 8 hours, her thigh had ballooned up, and she couldn't put any weight on it. Poor thing. You know, the level of toxicity here, amazing. Because of the quick progression of the tumor, the vet more said that I could either have her leg amputated and subject her to chemo, something he didn't think, or put her down right, or wait for her to die. According to the vet, he thought, oh, I'm sorry, I missed it. That's why I'm telling you guys, you have something this important, by all means, don't feel that you can't call into this clinic. I know we're busy, and don't get frustrated, please. We're doing our best to help everybody. But I have to say that when you have a cat that's heading toward death, you do something now with that cat or dog or whatever. You know, and that's why I say the more I can teach you guys how to grab and do these things, boy, you're just going to help yourselves and save yourself a lot of heartache, that's for sure. Without having seen your wonderful, I know that chemo would be bad. Oh no, you just lose your cat. And why would you let someone suffer with chemo? It'd be better to put her down in a pleasurable way. But you can pull that tumor off of there. I am writing to you now to ask for your opinion on how best to treat her and with which your God's earth form. Absolutely. Kidney number 1, lymphatic 1, and I'd probably do adrenal glands just to kick that, the liquids, or you can do the endocrine glands. Probably if you want to do one more, do parasite in, maybe just to kill any excessive bacteria or something, but you're going to really need a lot of bacteria for that. At the same time, I would probably buy a little Canex. Now, Canex is sold on the market. It's a form of black salve. I'd shave that leg and put a little bit on that tumor, you know, less than the size of a pity, put a 4x4 on that, and then let that thing pull out of there. Probably won't be fun for the cat, that's for sure, but it's either that or it's going to chew up her hip on that side. And that's all acid stuff, as you guys know. So that's what I would do. Yeah, you're right there. You're right on. You guys really get this. This lady really gets this. This is Sarah in Georgia. With that said, however, a friend of mine would have a kitty with a similar type of cancer, recommended a herbal product that, if the labeling and marketing had to be believed, are supposed to help cats with all types of cancerous tumors. The label says it contains, I never heard of SHAGA, blessed thistle, burdock root, red clover, sheep sorrel, slippery elm, and turkey rhubarb. Well, this sounds like Rena Casey's tea. I tell you, you're going to need a lot more than this. Our lymphatic formulas are miles more powerful than this, lymphatically speaking. This is Rena Casey's kind of her tea there that she used. I used Rena Casey's tea years and years ago. But, yeah, it sounds like her tea. No. There's all these herbs. Our herbs are much stronger than these herbs here, and they're more focused on the kidneys and the lymph system itself. Here you got a multiple focused look here. in the 10 days that Kelly had been taking it, I will say that she seemed to be considerably quicker. Well, she would, because you've got in this one formula you have burdock root, which is one of the more incredible herbs, good for liver, hepatic things, a little good for the kidney. Red clover is a lymphatic herb, also good for blood and cleansing. Slippery elm, anti-inflammatory. Turkey rhubarb, to me, is a little strong for the bowels, a little bit. I'm not familiar with CHAGA. But get in a little deeper on this, and if the tumor doesn't go down, I'd say in a few weeks, if you don't notice it going down on the herbs, then I'd pull that baby out. I wouldn't let it sit there and break down her hip. But I'm at the loss of where to start. Okay, so that should help you there, Sarah. Thank you. Sorry, sweetheart, I haven't been able to get to you fast. I'm going to definitely make it a thing to try to get caught up on these videos, because I have to cut this off now. This one girl, this is Raleigh, she asked, how about maca for the adrenals? Yeah, I'd say berries for the adrenals or herbs for the adrenals. The adrenals are going to be licorice is number one if you have low blood pressure. If you have a high blood pressure, no way. Parsley, dandelion greens, your ginsengs, even the Siberian ginseng, which isn't a true ginseng, that is also good. Borage and some things aren't recommended anymore. I had to take them out. But borage has definitely been known to be good for that, but you have to be careful with that, honey. That sort of thing. Gosh, I have so many good questions. This is my friend's 15-year-old son had mild acne and has been prescribed antibiotic. You know how stupid? I mean, when you guys realize these are acids in the lymph system, how stupid is the use of antibiotic and how life-threatening? I mean, I just think this is just insane. And the more you look at this, the more insane. Did ask, has it helped? Of course, the predictable answer was no. Of course not. And again, this is Mickey Midnight. Hey, you know what's up. Get that lymph in. This poor kid, 15. Of course, 15, you're going to always see kidney and adrenals, right? So you know this poor young man is dealing with kidney and adrenals. So you want to go after this kid, get him off all the dairy products, of course, and all that crap. UK does use a lot of milky stuff, yogurts and stuff. Get rid of all that kind of stuff. Get on the fruits, berries, and melons. Clean this young man's skin out. Get these kidneys and adrenals up, and you'll really put this young man ahead of the game. So you're going to go into this young man just like anyone else. You're going to clean his bowels. You're going to clean his kidneys. You're going to get his adrenals up and get his skin cleaned up. That's the only way to get it cleaned up, is address the cause of the problem. We just happen to know the cause more than some other people. Unfortunately or fortunately, however you look at it for them. I have to run now. Yeah, I am. So that was the... But it is always a divine pleasure, and I'm honored always to be here to help you in every way. And so if you need anything, any of you, just let us know. We do love all of you guys. You've done so well. I know some of you are working hard through your issues, and all I say is hang in there, be strong, be love always. Connect to your real self, to where you're not a football with the mind and a football with the emotions and desires. And break that karma, as that girl is asking. And have fun and enjoy. Get your joys back, guys. Don't let anybody take your joy away. Nobody's worth that. You are beautiful, beautiful beings, and I'm honored to have to work with every one of you. Have a fun day. Bye-bye.